Hello friends, this is Class 6th PC Ren's Grammar Lesson 5 Articles, and this is our Lecture 2. Points to be covered in today's class. Summary of indefinite article that we did yesterday. Explanation of definite article. Homework will be assigned. Then at last, discussion of previous homework will be done. First of all, what are articles? An article is a kind of adjective used before a common countable noun. Indefinite article. Let us take a quick revision of indefinite article that we did in our previous class. A and N are two forms of a single article called indefinite article. As a determiner, they indicate the coming of a noun after it. Since it denotes one, it is used before singular countable noun. Means indefinite article is always used before singular countable noun, and that is only a or an. Now where do we use a? Which rules govern over a? Before a singular countable noun when it is mentioned for the first time. For example, I saw a lion in the zoo. I have never seen a comet. Next rule says, before a singular countable noun or adjective beginning with a consonant sound. For example, I saw a movie and she found a book. Before a singular countable noun which is an example of a class of things. For example, a child needs love. Though we know that all the children need love, but here if we are talking about a class of all the children, and here we are mentioning only one child, so we'll use a. A child needs love. To express quantity. For example, a lot of, a bit of. Before units of price, speed, ratio, weight, etc. For example, sugar is rupees 25 a kilo. Means cost of 1 kilo sugar is 25. The car gives 20 kilometers a liter. Means this car runs 20 kilometers in petrol of 1 liter. Means that car needs 1 liter of petrol to run 20 kilometers. Before certain numbers. For example, 100, a billion, 1,000, like that. In expression of frequency. Frequency means how often the work is done, how often the thing is being repeated. For example, take this medicine twice a day. Twice means 2 times. Once, 1 time. Thrice, 3 times. We have music lessons once a week. That is frequency. In certain exclamatory expressions. For example, what a beautiful shot. What a pity. An. Now, where do we use an? Uses of an. An performs the same function as a, but an is used before singular countable nouns which begin with a vowel sound a, e, I, o, u. Here I repeat, please pay attention that an has the same rules, same functions as a has. But an is used before singular countable nouns which begin with vowel sound. I'm not talking about vowel but vowel sound. Remember, the initial sound, note the spelling is important. Say the spelling begins with H and it is giving us the sound of vowel, then we will use an. And if the spelling begins with O, E, I, A, U, but still it is giving us the sound of consonant, we will use A. So the spelling doesn't matter, the sound matters, from which the word begins. The following words begin with vowel letters but are pronounced with consonant sounds. They thereby take a before them. For example, a university, a uniform, a European. The vowel U in university and uniform and the vowels EU in European sound like U, Y-O-U. That is, these words sound as if they begin with the consonant. They are not giving us the sound of vowel. That is why. So we use A before them. Though these words university, uniform and European begins with U, but these are not giving us the sound of vowel. These are giving us the sound of consonant. That is why. So A will be placed before them. A 1 rupee note. A one-eyed monster. The word one, one, sounds as if it begins with V. So we use A before them. Here you can see one in both the cases begin with O. But it is not giving us the sound of O, it is giving us the sound of V when we pronounce. Here you need to pronounce the words, and if the pronunciation begins with consonant, you are supposed to place A. Otherwise, you are supposed to write an if you are getting a vowel sound. The consonant H at the beginning of our and honest is silent. That is, those words begin with a vowel sound. So we use an before them. We use an. That is our, not our, or not har. That is our, and that is not honest. This is honest. So we place an before them. Doesn't matter the spelling begins with consonant or vowel. But if we are getting the sound of vowel in the beginning, we will use an, not a. The following words begin with consonant letters but are pronounced with vowel sound. They therefore take an before them. For example, an hour, an honest man, an MP. Here we are not saying an MP or an SRP, we are saying an MP. And if we write M, it begins with A, and SP, it begins with A. So the consonant M in MP and S in SP sound like M, not M, and S, not S, respectively. That is, they begin with the vowel sound. You can see that EM, E is vowel, and ES, E is vowel, because M begins with A, and S begins with A. They begin with a vowel sound, so we use an before them, not A. So again I repeat, consonant doesn't matter. Say the word begins with the consonant or vowel, but the sound matters. Letter does not matter from which the spelling begins, but its initial sound matters. Now we will begin with definite article. This is our today's topic that I am going to explain you in deep. The word the is called the definite article because it points out some particular person or thing. It specifies both singular and plural nouns and nouns pronounced with consonant sound and nouns pronounced with vowel sound. So it specifies both. One more thing here I would like to add, that if the is placed just before a vowel, there we call it the egg, the aeroplane. But if the THE is placed just before consonant sound, there we call it the. So I think it might be clear to you. This is the extra point that you have done in today's class. Now where do we use the? Which rules govern the use of the? Before unique objects or group of objects. For example, the earth, the equator, the universe. So these are the unique objects, the things which are unique in their own, or group of objects which are unique in their own. There we use the. Before a noun made definite as a result of being mentioned a second time. For example, I saw a boy and a girl in the class. Now here we are repeating the nouns girl and boy in the second sentence. So there we are using the. The girl was crying and the boy looked confused. So if we are using the same nouns in the second sentence again, so there we use the, because after using in first sentence, these nouns become known to us. Before a noun made definite by the addition of a phrase or a clause. For example, the boy in the class. Before a proper noun only when it is qualified by an adjective. For examples, the immortal Shakespeare, the great Caesar. So Shakespeare is a name of person. Here immortal is adjective. So a proper noun when it is qualified by an adjective. Great is also adjective. Before that we use the. Before a noun representing only one particular thing by reason of locality. For example, mother is in the kitchen. So the speaker who is speaking this sentence, mother is in the kitchen belonged to him or her only. So here the kitchen of speaker's house. I repeat, before a noun representing only one particular thing by reason of locality. Before superlatives and ordinals like first, second, etc. used as adjective. Now superlative degree, you are very well aware of superlative degree that we have already done in the chapter of adjectives. In the degrees of adjectives, actually there are three degrees: positive degree, comparative and superlative. So before superlative degree, there we use the. Now what do you mean by ordinal numbers? Numbers are of two types. One is cardinal, two is ordinals. Cardinal numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And ordinal numbers are first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, like that. So here we will use the before superlative degrees and ordinal numbers. For examples, the first chapter, the best book. Here first is our ordinal number and best is our superlative degree of good. Before a singular noun to represent a class of animals or things. For example, the elephant is the largest land animal. So here we are telling about the whole class of elephant, that each and every elephant is the largest. Means the whole group of elephants, that elephants are the largest animals on our land. So, the elephant. Before an adjective to represent a class of persons. For examples, the rich are glamorous. Means here we are talking about a class of persons who are rich. The rich are glamorous. Here we will not say the riches are glamorous. Here the rich is it's representing a class. Now, before names of seas, rivers, groups of islands, chains of mountains, deserts. For examples, the Indian Ocean, the Bahamas. So these are the group of islands, chains of mountains, desert. For example, the Himalayas. Before them we use the, or we can say the things which are created by God. Island has not been created by the human beings. Mountains, deserts, seas, rivers. So the creations of God. Before the creations of God we use the. The Ganges. Ganges is Ganga river. So river is created by God. Before that we used the. Before names consisting of noun means if there is of between two nouns, then we will use the before first noun. For examples, the Bay of Bengal, the United States of America. Before a surname, in plural form we'll use it to denote a family. For example, the Sharmas. Now in the Sharmas, Mr. and Mrs. Sharma will be there. Their children will be there. If we take another surname, for example, the Aroras. So Mr. and Mrs. Arora will be there and their children will be there in Arora's family. Before names of buildings, hotels, restaurants, museums, theaters, cinemas, etc. For example, the White House, the Hyatt Regency. So before all these buildings name we use the, because these are famous buildings, these have their name, their fame, so we'll use the before them. The Taj Mahal. Remember the initial sound, note the spelling is important. Say the spelling begins with H and it is giving us the sound of vowel, then we will use an. And if the spelling begins with O, E, I, A, U, but still it is giving us the sound of consonant, we will use. Before names of races, ethnic groups and communities. For example, the Sikhs, the Chinese, the English. Please note one thing here, the English means the race of people who are natives of England, and English means the language they speak. So before English we use the. Before names of holy books, for example, the Bible, the Gita, etc. Before abbreviations like the UK means United Kingdom, the ICICI, etc. Before names of inventions, for example, who invented the aeroplane? So before aeroplane we used the. Before dates, he was born on the 1st of Jan 2020. So the is used before date, 1st of Jan, that is January. Now the question is here, where don't we use the? There are some places, there are some words before which we never use the. Before proper nouns like Amit Ghosh, we never use the before somebody's name. Kolkata, January, Sunday, etc. Before abstract noun, for example, poverty is a curse. Before material nouns, for example, water is precious. Before names of meals, I had some bread and butter for breakfast. Please pay heed, this is not breakfast, this is breakfast. Before names of languages and branches of knowledge, for example, Hindi, physics, philosophy. Before words like father, mother, uncle, etc., we never use the. Before names of games, we never use the. For example, he plays cricket. Before expressions like all day, by air, etc. I repeat, before names of languages and branches of knowledge, Hindi, physics, philosophy, we never use the. Before words like father, mother, uncle, etc., the is not used. Before names of games, we never use the. For example, he plays cricket. Before expressions like all day, by air, etc., with these things, with these words, we never use the. Now, remember few things that when nature means the spirit of creation, it is used without the. For example, if you destroy nature, it will destroy you. Here nature means spirit of creation. So the will not be used with nature. When home is used alone or placed directly after a verb of motion, the is not used. For example, she is at home. They went home. Here the is not used. Now this is the time to assign you homework. Hope you are doing your homework regularly and you are leaving no stone unturned. You are working very hard these days to improve yourself. And you are supposed to do your English grammar homework in rough notebook whenever it is assigned. The homework of A Pact with the Sun and Honeysuckle is to be done in your fair notebook whenever it is assigned and whenever it is being discussed. Especially after discussion, you are supposed to do your homework in your fair register, and homework of English grammar will be done always in rough register. Now the question is, put a or an or the in the following sets of sentences. Put a cross if no article is required. Means at some of the places there would be no article required. There you would just put cross. Number 1. My brother is dash dentist. My mother has gone to dash dentist. B. My friend Amit is looking for dash job these days. C. The jewel is not dash good restaurant. Let's go to dash best restaurant in the town, the Sapphire. Dash dog is dash faithful animal. Dash dog makes dash better pet than dash cat. Now we'll discuss the homework which was assigned by me in the previous class. Hope you have done your homework in your rough notebook. Now it is the time to check your homework. The question was, fill in the blanks with a or an. Number 1, an orange. Number 2, a year. This begins with year, Y-E-A-R. This doesn't begin with ear. This is year, not E. So a year, an animal, a high wall, an Indian leader, an empty basket, an exercise in grammar, a kind man, an old woman, an aeroplane. Hope you have checked your homework. If you like my video, please press like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.